What is up, Nickel City Mafia? Yes, don't change your channels. You are seeing something that is absolutely meant to be seen. We are coming to you live on a Tuesday night. I know we don't do Tuesday nights, but hey, we're kind of like in this, waiting for news on Josh Allen, and we got to keep our minds off of things. So Jake and I is like, let's talk about something that was bothering me, and Jake's going to help me get through this. We're going to talk about that final drive, the winning drive for the Jets. But let's get right. Let's talk about a little bit about Josh Allen. There is no news. I mean,
Yeah.
you can speculate all you want, all kinds of stuff on social media, good, some bad, mostly good. I'm hearing good things, bad things. I'm just like, you know what? Turn off social media. Other than this, I mean, come to YouTube and watch our show. But other than that, I mean, just gotta wait. We're gonna have to wait. I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out tomorrow. Absolutely sure we're gonna find out tomorrow. Jake, your thoughts on that? What's been going on? Social media just crazy. It's like I
Been
feel like
driving
there's a
me
lot of
nuts.
clickbait out there, and it's like I'll just wait. So, what's your thoughts?
I'm in the same boat, Mike. I'll admit I've been very restless lately. I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, is this nightmare over? I just
Yeah,
want to find out the new, just get it over with. Like, if it's bad, just rip the band aid off. But there are, and I've been reading into way too many things here because then
yeah.
I see Stefan Diggs just posts
I
a
saw
tweet.
that.
He says, rejoice,
Rejoice.
dot,
Yep.
dot, dot. I'm like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Is he good? You know, um, I don't know. There's just so many things, and I've been reading. Everyone's a doctor now. Apparently,
Yes.
everyone
Yeah.
knows what they're talking about. So I've been reading every single, social media doctor's take on every single little thing, and I am optimistic. I've heard from a few sources that apparently he's wearing a brace in practice. He actually did practice today. I just I got to stop because I'm driving myself insane. I've never felt this way about another man before. Um, I just I just need to know that he's good. That's it, plain and simple.
Yeah, today is, in California, we have actually a cool, rainy day, kind of overcast, just a rare day for us, but it fits the mood with
It
waiting
does.
waiting around for this news. And I hope to goodness, I have to think they know. And if they're making Bills folks sweat it out another day, just to tell us that all's good or whatever, it's bad on the Bills, man. Come on, tell us. You think there's any game? Let's say it's a positive thing they're going to tell us, which we all hope. We've been praying for,
Mhm.
right? Let's say it's a positive thing. You think they're waiting to do some gamesmanship with the Vikings? I mean, let's not tell the Vikings for sure who they're going to
Right.
play, but I can't believe they do that because the Vikings are going to be like, we're getting ready for Josh Allen. Anything else is below Josh Allen. We're ready for Josh. We're ready for anything.
Right. Yeah, it's just there's so many speculation, like there's so much speculation going on out there with us and with everyone, the media, and then NFL Live's trying to bait us in, saying, "Hey, we have breaking news, and it's the same update we heard three
Yeah,
hours ago." And
yeah,
and the only thing, I guess, if you want to take a little more optimism out of this, Sean McDermott, his normal press conference on a Wednesday is at noon, so he said he's going to just meet at noon with the media like normal, and he'll update on the Josh Allen situation then. So I'm hoping based on that, you would think if there was something more serious, he would have came out sooner.
yeah,
Like the MRI is done, everything's done. They should
yeah.
know at least what's going on. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping that's just good news and everything's normal, and he'll just be playing through a little bit of pain.
Yeah, and I mean, and if Josh has to miss a little bit of time, nobody circles the wagons better than the Buffalo Bills.
That's right. That's
Case
right.
Keenum, and look, Case Keenum is a serviceable quarterback. We brought him over for a reason, and
Absolutely.
Dorsey will change the playbook a little bit. He doesn't have the arm strength that Allen does, but he's got so many damn good skilled players around him. I mean, and the team will have to step up. Every area will
Yeah.
have to step up and get this win for Josh if he happens to miss a game. I'm hoping he doesn't, but we'll find out tomorrow. So there's no news. Unfortunately, I really expected us to get some news. We
And
got big.
listen,
Yeah,
if he
sorry. Go ahead.
doesn't if he doesn't play in case Keenum's the starter, it will force us to throw the underneath route, which
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
we have been lacking. Like we are just dying for someone to step up and be that slot guy, that Mr. Reliable underneath guy. And we're going to have to do that if we have Case Keenum as quarterback. So at least one good thing will come from that. And it should be, involving a guy going underneath and running those crossing patterns, hopefully.
Yeah, so Jake and I are going to cover the final winning drive by the Jets, and then we'll look at our final attempt to kind of come back and tie it up. But before I get into that, I do want to say, so Jake, I caught some of the all 22 earlier on, even before, we punted. Before we we're punting, and I'm going to show you that right now. When you look at the film, there was underneath stuff. There was throughout the game.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder why Josh continued to look mid-range and deeper when there was some stuff open. So again, we could spend hours if we went through this whole film, but let's just set the tone here. So here we are, Jake, and let me share the screen here. We're at a 17-17 game, right? There's, 7 minutes, a little over 7 minutes left in the quarter. And we just got stopped, and we're about to punt the ball. Now, no matter how bad whoever was playing, Josh Allen, yes, he threw 2 bad interceptions, could have thrown a third. No matter what, your team played well enough to get this win. 17-17 against a very good Jets defense. So no matter how we played, we got a shot to win this game. So let's look at this punt. And I'm going to ask you, what was your comfort level? What did you think percentage-wise? How confident did you feel that the Bills were going to be able to get a stop after this punt? So let's share this and get into the punt here real quick. Because this is a beautiful punt by Sam Martin. Absolutely beautiful. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. Let's get into this little different view we got today. There we go. All right. So Sam Martin, I'm just going to let this thing play through here. I mean, you can't ask for a better punt right here, right? I mean, inside the 5, at the 4-yard line.
Beautiful.
Starting position. So at that point, Jake, I'll throw it to you in a sec. For me, I'm like, there's no way they're going to drive the field. This defense is going to get a stop for us, not allow a point at all, get the ball back for us, and give us a chance to go and maybe get a winning score there. My confidence level was around 80 to 90% that we were going to make a stop. What'd you think?
You know what I'm thinking, Mike? I'm thinking safety. Like, I'm thinking they're going to mess up somehow. Like, Von's going to come through again and get a strip sack, or we're going to make a play here, or a pick 6, or whatever it may be. Obvious running situations on the first couple of downs, right? Maybe even the first 3 downs. Maybe it's just the Jets, just playing for overtime at this point. That's my thought, right? Yeah. And if they do try to throw, they're in trouble. But they went out there and just physically dominated us up front. But my percentage, walking into this situation, starting at the 4-yard line with a very mediocre Jets offense, in my opinion, I guess a not so mediocre running offense against us in this game in particular. I'm thinking, man, this is a great opportunity for us. And even so, when we get the ball back, we should have pretty decent field position.
Right. So they start this drive with 7 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. I do want to say hi to a few folks. We got Big Al out there saying play calling wasn't good enough.
Agreed.
Yep, definitely agree there. We got Tom. Tom is in our Discord. And by the way, if you haven't joined our Discord, get into it. It's a lot of fun. But Tom was telling us about the Zamboni. There was a Zamboni issue that held the game up for like 20 minutes, apparently, in the Sabre game.
They lost 2 tonight, by the way, 4-1. So it's been a tough couple of days for Buffalo fans.
Yeah, and then the Skycam, obviously, the delay in the Jets-Bills game. Interesting stuff. And then we got Nicholas Smalter out there. Let's go. Love this show. Thank you, Nicholas Smalter. And then Big Al saying, Nick? You know Nicholas?
Yeah, that's he's one of my best friends. He actually lives down in Florida right now.
All right.
But he tunes in, Mike. He watches the show, and he was just texting me earlier, actually. So he was asking about Josh if I knew of any inside information, and I'm like, unfortunately, no. It's just been brutal. It's just a waiting game right now. Terrible.
Yeah, I've had King Randy texting me the last couple of days. Any word on Josh? Now he's not rooting for Josh to be hurt. He actually wants Josh to be okay. But he keeps asking me because like we have direct connections, which we should. We should by now, doing this show for a year and a half, some direct connects that we can kind of call and get some news. But I will say this: I am shocked that nothing has slipped out. It's almost as if McDermott said you will not say anything. If you do, there will be
You're
some
done.
repercussions. So isn't it? It is kind of a shock, right? With all the folks that know Josh Allen and his girlfriend, you would think something would leak out. His family, they've done a good job keeping a lid on it.
Yeah, they really have. It's super impressive, especially this day and age. I mean, everything slips out, right? You can't get
Yeah,
away with anything.
I know.
So, yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this. So, like I said, they start the drive with 7 minutes and 53 seconds, and this has been bugging me. And again, when we do our shows, remember, I'm the fan. I'm coming from a fan's perspective. Yes, I've been watching football. I played Pee Wee football. Yes, I know 4-3s. I know 3-4s. I know nickel defense. I know a lot of the schemes. But I called you Josh again, dude. How many times am I going to call you Josh Allen?
I appreciate it, Mike. You can keep calling me Josh.
God almighty. Jake is the X and O guy in this show. So he's going to help me understand where the mistakes were made. I'll give you my perspective as where I think something's going on, but he can give you more of the inside information on what that scheme is supposed to do and what player is supposed to do what. So let's roll into the first. And again, every play, we're going to go through every play up until the field goal that gave them the go ahead score and eventually the winning score. So let's get into it. And you're going to see two angles for each play that we go through.
And I'm going to feel a little bad on this because I'm going to just be harping on how good the Jets offensive line is this entire time, because nothing gets me more fired up than watching good run play execution. And this entire drive put on an absolute clinic. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And watching as a Bills fan, there's nothing worse than watching a team start at their own 4-yard line and drive it down the field and kill clock. I mean, it's just the most painful thing in the world. And this is exactly what they did this entire drive.
Yeah, so they're going with 11 personnel. And look at that. See, I know some of these terms. They're going 11 personnel.
Very good,
one
Mike.
running back, one tight end. And they got, and we actually have the ability here to draw a little bit. So let's do that.
Let's see. Let's see your best illustrations here.
Let me do that real quick. Hold on a sec here. And nope, didn't want to do that. Did not want to do that. So hold tight here, please. We're going to watch the punt one more time.
How about slippery Sam Martin? I mean, this guy has been great. He hasn't punted much, but I feel like at least half of the punts that he's had this year have been either muffs or downed within the 5-yard line there.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
All right, so I'm going to let this pro. So I do want to say that we've got Miller on the right. We've got A.J. Epinesa up top. Now, Gregory Rousseau was injured in the game. He's got an ankle injury, and he's week to week. I hear it was a high ankle sprain. And, those can take multiple weeks to heal.
Yeah.
You got Benford out there. You got Edmonds. You got Damar Hamlin. You got Daquan Johnson. You have Benford out there. And on the top left is Dane Jackson. In the middle, you got Daquan Jones, and you got Jordan Phillips. So let's roll here.
An obvious running situation here, of course. They're backed up in their own territory. They want to kill some clock. It's a tie game at this point. So worst case scenario, they have to punt the ball away, but at least they kill as much possible time as they can. So, why don't you go ahead and run the play, Mike?
All righty.
So pre-snap motion, you got to respect that a little bit. That's Elijah Moore, who's a gadget guy for them. You'll see him. He kind of like fakes a little pitch out to it would be the left-hand side on their end. And you're going to see it's just a thing of beauty by the Jets. And I hate saying this because you're going to watch CJ Uzama. He's essentially the lead blocker on this play. And you have Laken Tomlinson also pulling. And, just buries our defensive line right off the bat here. And James Robinson gets through for a nice gain here. I think it's like 8-yard gain right off the bat here.
Yeah, so you'll see this. It was so close to being stuffed by Daquan Jones.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't a bad job, really, but the Jets were just so much better here. And Connor McGovern, I got to give a shout out to him, the center for the Jets. He played just unbelievable football this entire game. I mean, he got to the second level extremely well. He made some really good seal blocks, and it just opened things up. And we have a running back, a very capable running back in James Robinson and Michael Carter. I mean, those guys are going to get through and make it happen. I think he just basically, he puts a foot in the ground. And as you said, Mike, it's close to being a stuff. He puts a foot in the ground and takes the burst, and he gets upfield for like an 8-yard gain here.
Yeah, I'm going to let this go until the other angle. I think
it's easier to see.
It's a better angle. So let's let this roll.
Yep.
Let's get right into the second one here.
Yeah.
And I'll pause
So
it
here
a
you're going to
little
see the
bit.
pre-snap motion, right? So of course you're respecting that. That actually, so the whole purpose of the pre-snap motion is to kind of get guys out of position and to make them think and respect. Especially with Elijah Moore, who's their gadget guy. Essentially, he's like their Isaiah McKenzie, but much better, actually. Unfortunately, and there were some trade rumors about him, by the way, but he didn't end up getting traded, and he's back and playing for them. And he was a big piece. He was he was a part of a lot of this pre-snap motion, and it was on this first play here. So they obviously you have to respect him, the pre-snap motion there. And what you'll see is you're going to see CJ Uzama and I believe it's Laken Tomlinson here that pull on this play, and essentially they're CJ Uzama is the lead blocker. Let's see
All
here.
right, so let's let it go here a little bit. I want to show you. There's a moment here. You're like, there's nowhere for this guy to go.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
so
It's not a. Yep.
Maybe a little further. Hold on.
Slow it
Right
up
there.
right there.
You're like,
Yep.
there's Edmonds. Edmonds is probably, man, I wish I could draw. Edmonds, you'll see, he's going to go over to the right. He thinks maybe the back's going to cut out to the right.
He thinks he's going to bounce it.
Right. Daquan Jones is right there. You're like, this is going to be
Yeah.
stuffed. But
And it's a hell of a job by James Robinson here because he's going to put one foot in the ground there, and you're going to see what happens.
Yeah. So there we go. Boom.
Boom.
And it's like Daquan Jones.
And he just falls over. I mean, it's, and that's James Robinson, as a veteran back, just having really good vision there and a great job with him, just putting a foot in the ground and bursting out and getting a nice gain here.
Yeah, that's why I said in our pregame show when they lost Brees Hall, I thought it was fantastic. They immediately went out and got James Robinson from the Jaguars, and
Yep.
he's been very, very good for them. So this was a great move. So let's finish this one up. Boom, just like
Yeah.
that.
And again, who is
You
that
got,
making the tackle there? Is that DeMar Hamlin again?
It was Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson.
Yeah, all day. DeMar Hamlin led the team in tackles, and I'll tell you what, going back and watching this film, I thought he actually had a really nice day. He had to come up and make tackles in the run game, and he's been great in the run game all year.
Yeah, I've been super impressed with Hamlin for sure. So here we are. Now they're in 12 personnel. They got two tight ends on the field in this one.
You got Ty Conklin and CJ Uzama in the formation here, and it's essentially the same exact play, just minus the pre-snap motion.
Yeah, what's interesting in this whole drive, and I don't know if he was hurt or what, but Ed Oliver, he's missing.
Yeah.
He's missing in action this whole drive, and I don't know why it is. Why do you not have your star defensive?
And that's
tackle in the
frustrating
game?
because he was getting penetration, Mike. He was actually doing a pretty damn good job of getting up and penetrating the entire game. Unfortunately, a lot of times when they got the penetration, the Jets kind of redirected and were able to figure that out. But yeah, I don't know why he wasn't in on this.
All right, so you got 2nd and 1. You can do a lot of things with 2nd and 1, but they're going to go like I felt like the coach Robert Saleh pulled him on the sideline and said, "Let's punch the Bills in the face. Let's run it down their throats. Old school football. Let's go." So let's check this one out. 2nd and 1. Pretty much going to run to the same side again, like you said, Jake.
Yep.
At this point here,
it's the same freaking play, and that's the most frustrating part. I mean, it just
I'm gonna let this run so we can get to the second view, but this one is more of just a push.
That's just a
push from the
domination up
offensive
front.
line. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
So
again, you're going to watch CJ Uzama, 87 there. He's essentially the lead blocker here. Laken Tomlinson pulls. He takes care of, I believe that's Vaughn over there. And then CJ Uzama is right in front of James Robinson here. You're going to watch him get up to the next level here.
and you got Taron Johnson trying to get in there to make a play.
Yep.
But, and we can talk about this whenever you want to, Jake, because it's like, why didn't the Bills go to a true 4-3? Why didn't they get out of the nickel and put someone bigger in there like Dotson? But let's just watch this play here. I'll try to pause it a little bit as it goes. So this is just more of a, guys winning the trenches there and just pushing the Bills downfield.
Jeez.
Now, you will notice on the right there again, Tremaine Edmonds, I don't know what he was thinking. He's off to the side there, but it's just push. It's like
Cedric Abui did a really nice job here on Tremaine Edmonds. He kept him totally out of the play here, and Tremaine is totally blocked. I mean, this is just a great job by the Jets again, and I feel bad because I'm just going to be giving the Jets so many compliments on this entire drive.
Well, you know what's funny, and again, you're the XNO guy, but when I watched this film multiple times, I was thinking that I'm like, man, Jake, is it just a matter that the Jets did a perfect, blocking scheme here down the
Pretty
field. I
much.
mean, they looked fantastic, and they weren't.
Yeah.
This was an offensive line that wasn't doing that great this year. I mean, they were decent in the run with Brees Hall, but
Right.
maybe they. I guess they were struggling more in the pass game. So maybe I'm off on how they've been doing on the run blocking. But man, they just do a fantastic job. But Jake, my concern is this. This carried over from the Packer game.
Yep.
Right,
Yep.
these
The
are
Packers
similar-
did the exact same thing against
Yeah.
us. And it was all that inside zone. They ran a little outside zone. You'll see there's a play here, not on this play, but there's a play on this drive. They run outside zone as well. And they got a big run on that one too. So it's just, and it's nothing crazy. It's pretty basic for the most part. It's just physical domination up front. I don't know what the hell's going on, Mike. We got to figure it out.
All right, so let's let this go through again. Just push down the field.
Yeah.
Nice game. On 2nd and 1, excuse me. Hold on.
It left you speechless. And again, it was constant this entire series, guys. I mean, it really, as a fan, as a Bills fan, you're just sitting there kind of tearing your hair out at this point because there's nothing you can do. And now they're already at the 37-yard line after this play, and they're killing clock, and they're just setting themselves up for a game-winning field goal. Mike, you okay over there? Okay. All right. So, yeah, same thing. Again, they ran the same exact play 3 times in a row here. Again, the first play they ran a little pre-snap motion, but it was the exact same play all 3 times.
All right, let's see. Swallowed something wrong here.
That's the worst. That's the absolute worst. I can continue talking. Don't worry. You just got to work the controls for me.
Yeah. Let's roll this a little bit here.
Okay. All right, so this is a much better view too. So again, you're going to watch Laken Tomlinson, 78. He's going to pull. You got CJ Uzama as the lead blocker. James Robinson just following him through. Great job there by CJ Uzama. Shout out to him. And Connor McGovern there taking, I don't know who that is. Is that Terrell Bernard or is that Tremaine? I can't tell. But this block right here is just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, let's roll it. I lost my voice, man. Hold
on. That's okay.
Wow.
Yep. And again, the arm tackling, you're not going to take him down with an arm tackle. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And DeMar Hamlin
let's
again.
Talk about a little bit about Bernard as well.
Sure.
Bernard got the start. We got no Matt Milano. And it looks like Bernard is just not making plays. He's kind of lost out there a little bit in my mind. What'd you see?
I think he made a lot of rookie mistakes, and but I will say this: I was a little critical. I think initially after the game, I went back and watched some of the film. There were some plays where he wasn't terrible, and he was able to. He read the play right, and he was in position to make a play. I think he's going to get better with time, and actually, he wasn't as bad as I thought. I actually didn't think he played a horrendous game by any means. I think he's developed. I mean, it's his first ever start, so I give him a lot of credit. I think he's going to get better with time here, and that was sort of what he was. He's a very raw prospect coming to this team, and I think he's only going to get better with time. So I'm not too worried at all. He still had 7 tackles too, so not bad at all.
But why did you think they play him instead of Dotson?
So he's a natural weak side linebacker. Terrell Dotson is more of that like inside linebacker. He played Tremaine Edmonds' position extremely well, but he's more of like that old school thumper. He's not as good in coverage, but it's a more natural fit for him. Whereas with Terrell Bernard, he's more of that athletic, speedy type. He could even play safety. Honestly, I think he played a little bit of safety at Baylor too. But he's like that Thomas Davis type almost, so I think he's a more natural fit for that weak side linebacker position than Tyrell Dotson is.
Good points here. All right, so here we are, first down at the 36-yard line of the Jets. This one you're going to be able to blame on someone.
I think this is a
mistake. So
yes.
let's roll this. We're going to watch it at both angles here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of which. This is. I think this is a play too. Yeah.
So you got. I wish I could circle it. You have Johnson back here, right? Safety moving up. He's moving up. Taron Johnson's running across to cover the receiver. Is that Barrios? Is Barrios number 10?
Yeah, that's Braxton Berrios going in motion.
You got You got Benford down at the bottom of the screen. So
Yep.
let's roll this a little bit. And they're playing what? Are they still in 12 personnel? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're running 12 personnel
Yes.
here, 2 tight ends. And here we go.
And this is just a beautiful job. This is a nice outside zone run here by Michael Carter. He's going to take this for like a 16-yard gain, I believe. Yeah. Ugh. Brutal. And you're not going to take him down with arm tackles again. It's just.
And that
You'll
was
get a
the
better
second
view
time that, at least second time, maybe even more, that Daquan Johnson seemed to take a bad angle.
Poor angle. Yeah, it was really all game. And actually there were times where he was in good position, but then you got to take off and start running because you're not doing yourself any favors. You're not going to take a guy down with an arm tackle again, especially with Michael Carter and James Robinson. Those guys are a little stockier, a little bit bigger. They're fast. Once they get a burst, they're gone. So yeah, it was a thing all game. You're going to watch them here. This is a much better view and a really good job by Denzel Mims, number 11. You're going to see a great block by him, too, on the edge. And Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, you can see him up top there on the left.
Yep. Yeah,
Right here.
And again,
right here.
there it is.
You're like, there's no way that Johnson doesn't get to him, right? You're thinking he's got a good angle there. And then it's just puts on the burners here.
And he's a smart football player. He is very, that was the biggest thing in the preseason. He was amazing at the line of scrimmage. And I'm not really sure what's happening here. I think he might be thinking too much, or I don't know what it is, Mike, but he's got to figure that out fast because I don't know. I'm a little nervous with our safeties right now. And with Jordan Poyer, I still haven't heard much about his injury status at all. So who knows what's going to happen there.
So up until this point, they've run the ball 5 times now.
That's right.
Actually, no. 1, 2, 3,
4.
That
That was the fourth play.
Times.
Yeah, fourth play. Yep.
So silly mistake here. We're going to give them an easy 5.
Pre-snap motion here.
This
Check
is the one
that
time.
out.
Yeah, this one time they're going to run something. I'm going to let.
And they tried to throw it out to the Braxton Berrios here, right? But it went into the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a flag on that play?
There was a penalty on that play. Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. They drew him offsides, right?
Yep, 5-yard penalty, and that was on. That was a penalty on. Let's see, Tim Settle.
Yeah.
So here we go. We got now 1st and 5 at the Bills 42, and let's roll the film here. So again, what are they in, Jake? They're in 12 personnel again. Yep, 2 tight ends going big.
Bills haven't really ends there. Yeah.
Yeah, Bills haven't really made any adjustments here. They're not going bigger. They still got Taron Johnson in there. They're still going with their base nickel D. So let's roll here.
Jeez.
We'll play. We'll
CJ Uzama does a tremendous job. He is such an underrated blocker too. The way you can, so this is not Mike. This is not 12 personnel. They don't have 2 tight ends here. So just CJ Uzama in the game here.
I saw. Yeah,
it's just off the line. Yep. No, it looked like it. That was close.
Better angle because they got Berrios over there. Here we go.
And you're gonna watch CJ Uzama. Same thing, right? He's pulling here, and instead they run a little misdirection, and Michael Carter is gonna just slip and slide through that defense all day.
Yeah, so Carter picks up 4. Now we're at the 38. 2nd and 1 at the 38. You got 2nd and 1, and they had 2nd and 1 a couple times on this drive.
Yep.
You could do a lot of things, but they're like, well, we're still going to run it down your throat here. So in this case here, they have 3 receivers. They're going with the 11 personnel. There we go. And again, I'm going to let this roll until you get the view from the behind there. But this one's a nice run. And I think we'll see from behind there. You can break that down a little bit better for the folks.
Parham was just trying to get him to the ground there. Yeah. So Ty Conklin in the game here, number 83. Shaq Lawson there.
Shaq Lawson, our run specialist. I'm wondering next to him, is that Oliver? It's hard to tell. I'm going to see if I can stop it and see.
I think that's Jordan Phillips.
Is it Phillips? Okay. Again, yeah, I don't know if Oliver got injured in this game at some point, but I didn't see him at all on this drive, which is just surprised the heck out of me. So let's roll this a little bit. So I mean,
And this
is just,
time, yeah, this time it's the other guard.
yeah, this looks pretty easy. I mean, man, there it is right there, big hole.
God Almighty, that's Nate Herbig, who is essentially was a backup guard, and he came in and he looked like an All Pro this entire game. And that was one thing, Mike. I mean, that was one of our keys to the game, right? Well, at least one of my keys to the game was winning that battle inside, and it just all day it just seemed to go the Jets' way and physically imposing. The center Connor McGovern had an unbelievable game,
Yeah, it felt like they were,
and both guards did too.
yeah, I mean, they saved their best for last. I mean, this drive was where they got most of their running offense for the game. So let's go here. So now we are at the 23. We are 1st and 10 at the 23. Let's roll. I'm going to let the first view roll through pretty quickly, and then we can break down. Well, this one actually is a pretty good angle. You can see a lot happening here. So already you can see, I mean, the lead blocker for him.
Yep,
And then you got Edmonds. Edmonds is about, he's sitting
he's
at
on
the
the
20.
backside here.
So
Yep.
he's about 3 yards back of the line. And let's see what happens here.
And I'll say this: I think for the most part, our contain on the outside wasn't horrendous. This like the whole game I'm talking about, but just the interior runs, the inside zone plays all day were just killer.
So let's watch it from this angle
Yeah,
here.
this is a better angle. I like it, the backside here. We actually got 12 personnel here. We got 2 tight ends here on the field. Again, CJ Uzama, my God, putting on an absolute clinic.
And Edmonds makes the tackle there. So,
Not a bad job by Tremaine there.
yeah, that was 1st and 10 at the 23. And
Yep.
Edmonds stops him for a 3-yard gain. So 2nd and 7 at the Buffalo 20 right now. And let's roll the film here. So again, what personnel are they running now, Jake? Looks like they're back to 12 here.
Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, it is 12 personnel. That's right.
All right. Let's roll the film.
We got Ty Conklin and CJ Uzama there on the right side, and they're just going to down block here. And again, nice 2-3 yards.
Yeah, let's watch it from this angle here.
Yep. You can see these guys all just down block. And again, who's that there making the tackle?
That's Shaq Lawson there.
Shaq Lawson, yeah.
Yeah,
Shaq
so that
actually
was-
did all right today, in this game in particular. I didn't think he played too bad.
So Shaq and Edmonds were in on that play. You can see Boogie there. Boogie was, after Rousseau went out, I'm sure Epinesa got.
Boogie was in a lot.
I haven't checked the snap counts, but Boogie seemed to be quiet. I didn't. See
He was in there,
55.
yeah. He was in the game, but he didn't make a huge splash by any means.
Yeah. So now we're at. Let's roll the next film here. So we're at 3rd and 5 at the Bills 18. And this is the first time that Zach is going to throw the ball on this drive. Now,
This is a slant route to Garrett Wilson. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yep.
this is Mims. Mims
Oh,
actually makes
Denzel
this
Mills.
play.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad. Yep.
So Elam's up top on the up top there of the screen.
Yep.
Elam's on him, and let's roll the film here.
quick-
And this is
quick
just
slant here.
there's nothing the D line could have done here. This is a 2-step throw the ball.
Boom.
Boom, it's out.
That's
Now
a hell of a throw.
It is, right?
That's a
and
hell
they're
of a throw.
they just kept it simple for Zach. Like, they're out there. This is the only throw in the game. And it's kind of interesting in these final runs that they do at the end here where the Bills stop them. But that's a great throw.
Yeah. The velocity he has to put on that ball too, Mike. Like just to put that into perspective. So that's a one stop and throw. I mean that's a real. You got to put a lot of speed, a lot of zip on that ball to get it in there. I mean that's actually not a terrible job coverage wise either. I mean that's a hell of a throw and good job by Denzel Mims winning inside there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kyer Elam, he just never seems to be. Doesn't seem to be much separation between him and receivers. He
Right.
does a fantastic job. I mean, it's just a matter of that being a perfect pass. Perfect
Yeah,
pass. There's nothing.
really
there's
was.
not much he really could have done. I thought he did a great job on the play and just, better pass.
And I think that was the story this entire game with Zach Wilson. He didn't really make a ton of mistakes outside of that fumble. He protected the ball. He made the throws when he had to, and really just, again, right here, you're going to see it.
Right. If you're getting the ball out this quick, and it's exactly what you want to do with Wilson. We talked about it in the pregame too, right? It's like he's got to get rid of the ball quick, and they're going to have to run. They did everything we kind of talked about. And then, Zach has to not make those mistakes that he's made. Like, look, dude, if he doesn't make those 3 interceptions against the Patriots last week, I call you dude for some reason. I don't know why. That's not a word I usually use, but okay. But if he doesn't make those 3 interceptions, they're sitting atop of the AFC right now.
I know it. It's crazy to think about, right?
Right. And speaking of that, so we got the Bills at 6-2, we got the Dolphins at 6-3, we got the Jets at 6-3, and we got Minnesota coming in town. If by chance we were to lose that game, we'd be potentially in 3rd place in the AFC East. How crazy is that to think? How crazy is that?
It's a scary thought, Mike. It's a scary thought. I don't like it one bit.
But it just goes to show you, I mean, the AFC East is not the AFC least, right? They are the AFC beast right now, and I'm just saying this is a good division. So that's
here we thought the AFC West was going to be like that, right?
Yeah,
but they are the total opposite of what we thought. And the AFC East is just absolute domination across the board, it seems like.
So here we have, what do we got? 1st and goal at the 6-yard line, and Von Miller says, I'm tired of this BS. Let's go. We got to get a stop. And at this point in time, let me just stop this real quick. So 1st and goal at the 6, and there's roughly, after that pass to Mims, we hit the 2-minute warning.
I was just going to say, that was a 2-minute warning. Okay.
So we come out of the 2-minute warning, 1st and goal at the 6, and here we go.
Man.
Miller says, I'm tired of it. Boom.
That's a great job by Von.
2-yard loss by Von. So
you're going to watch him here, right?
This is pretty crazy. Look where Von is. There's 2 guys, and I'm just amazed that they don't pay him any attention here because he just comes right in and makes the play. Boom.
So, there's definitely how you just leave Von like that is unbelievable. Great job by him there, taking advantage of that.
All right, so now we're at 2nd and goal at the 8. That's Saxon shotgun.
Pre-snap motion. They were doing this all day with Braxton Berrios and Elijah Moore.
So here we got Daquan Johnson. You can see he's going to have to make this tackle because everyone else, I don't see who was on the line there, but you know what? Zach Wilson can run. He's got some wheels. So he's easily going to get away from him, and he does. And now it's up to Daquan Johnson here.
And this is where I'm almost thinking this could have been like a situation where you call
let him score.
A roughing the passer or whatever it may be, or you let him score, like you said, Mike. But yeah, let's continue to watch here. Well, I wouldn't say you let him score because you want to limit him to a field goal, but you're also killing clock too at this point. But a lot of people were watching this play back on the replay, and they're like, "Oh, that's actually a hit to the head on Zach Wilson."
Let's see. Not really.
You see?
I mean, maybe
not there. Not there. The next
this one right here. Oh,
right here.
Okay, here we
go.
A
little helmet to helmet.
Yeah, definitely. And is that Boogie?
I think it was. Yeah,
that's Boogie.
Yep.
So at that point, I actually thought he was going to score. I mean, I was like,
I did too. And I'm like, you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world. We still have our timeouts, and I think we had our timeouts at this point, right? We still had all of them.
No, we're out of timeouts at this point.
Oh, we're out. Okay.
Yeah, we had one more left, and I think we blow it on this next one here.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's right.
So here it is. There's a big play here. We're at 3rd and goal at the Buffalo 2, and I mean, he's in shotgun. Looks like he's going to throw the ball, but the coaches are in his ear telling him, do not throw the ball. And I got to tell you, I wish I had, I don't know why I started this. Usually I can draw on the screen, but up top, our 2 corners do an absolutely fantastic job by kind of swapping. You'll see that they kind of do a cross and they just the corners do a fantastic job picking up the receiver here. So that really takes away anything that Zach can do over there. But I feel like they told him right up front, do not throw this ball. Just let's watch what happens here. And I'm going to stop and show you what I talk about in the receivers up top there. So you'll see they're going to do a quick cross.
Yep.
And look how the corners handle it beautifully. They just hand off to one another.
Great job.
It's incredible, right?
That's great communication too. That's something from a young corner, two young corners, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's beautiful.
I think Taron Johnson is one of them, and I gotta think. I'm trying to look at the field here. That's either Kyer or Dane.
I think it's Kyer.
And then, of course, while we're looking at that up top, Damar Hamlin comes in and just makes a fantastic play. Again, Damar is no Micah Hyde. Don't get us wrong, but let me tell you something. This kid brings a little youth to that position. He's big, he's physical, and he's been making plays in the backfield. Tackle for losses, sacks. He's been impressive, Jake. I don't know what you think.
I 100% agree. Yeah, I mean, going back and rewatching this too, I mean, he was huge. I mean, you know, from the tough play that we had from Jaquan Johnson this entire game, Damar Hamlin sort of made up for that a little bit here, and great job on this play especially.
There we got Jules Marie out there just stopping by to say, hey, how you doing,
Jules?
You're pretty late there. She's in the Buffalo area. Late night for her.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we always appreciate you. All right, let's go here. So at this point in time, let me bring up my little my info here. So big stop here, right? Big stop. And we're going to watch the other angle from behind here real quick. And again, just watch Damar Hamlin. Beautiful.
You got him.
Beautiful
He's essentially the spy guy here, right? So he sees Zach Wilson. He's going to roll out here, and he's just going to do a great job on this.
Yeah, there was no chance. I feel like even if the wide receivers had made a play and gotten open, there was no chance there. So I want to show you something, Jake. I want to show you this. This is important. Let's see if I can freeze this. Did you see that hold? He had to go up high.
I did. Wow. Hold.
I mean, that was not.
Actually, I didn't catch that in real time, but wow.
Yeah. So let's see if I can. Yeah.
I didn't catch that in the initial.
Yeah, he had to go high for this, so it was interesting.
Wow.
We'll watch it again here on the next view. I'll try to get a.
I mean, shoot, Mike. That could have been a.
So close.
Great opportunity.
So close, right? But here we go. So the Bills' final drive. And again, let's just, before we get into this, talk to me about what you saw there. I know you've been saying the Jets just something you'd want to show a film to people, trying to teach them how to block, how to run block, right? Hey guys, this is what you want to do in a game. But what did the Bills do wrong, and what can they correct going forward there? I mean, do you put any blame on anyone other than maybe the coaches not making an adjustment? But talk to me about that. Yes, it was a clinic put on by the Jets, but as the defense as good as we think the Buffalo Bills are, we thought, Jake, just 2 weeks ago, going into the Packer game, the Bills were number one in rushing defense, giving up under 80 yards per game.
Right.
And then they came out of the Packer game, they still were fourth, but they got a little exposed, and the Jets watched that film. So, yeah, they put on a clinic, but so did the Packers. Bills got to do something to adjust. I mean, talk to me. What can we do?
I would say the whole running game thing, I think it's been so exposed. I don't know if we necessarily have always had a great run defense. I think the biggest thing is a lot of these teams have gotten down by so many points that they have to throw the football. And we've been able to get penetration. We've actually done a really good job, I think, our entire defensive line all year of getting that penetration. This game, it was a little tough for the first couple of quarters. And then in the second half, we stepped it up a little bit. So I think penetration-wise, we've always been really good with that, and we've had a lead for the most part in every game that we've been in. So most teams have to throw the football. So they're not really running the football a ton. And when they do, it's one of those things where we've already been getting pressure all day, so not running for a ton of yards. I think teams have sort of altered their game plan. They've run a lot of this pin and pull stuff against us and sort of taken advantage of us and just sort of beat us down and tired the defense out. And that's exactly what the Jets did all day in this game in particular. So, it's something that Von said that at least he thinks he can control a little bit better because he's kind of coming up field and, trying to get to the quarterback, of course, and he can kind of lay back a little bit and play the run a little bit better himself, he's saying. So I think it's one of those things where we obviously got to focus on the gap assignments, not run by guys and not arm tackle either. I think that's been a major issue all season is just the arm tackling. That has got to come to an end, and that just comes down to basic fundamentals at that point.
We got Trick 808 from Hawaii saying aloha. Aloha, Trick. Good to see you back there. And then we got Big L saying we need to blitz more. What do you think?
We don't blitz at all.
I know.
We just rush for the most part. I mean, we very rarely blitz. I think we're like the third. We might be second now in terms of lowest percentage of blitz. So,
yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing one or two thrown into the mix.
So here we go. Bills first, and we get the ball back here. And let me tell you exactly how much time we get the ball back with. So we get the ball back with 1:43 to go. We have no timeouts, though. And this first play, you're thinking, here we go. So let's roll this. Let me take that off. And let's roll this play because this was the game right here. What ended up to be pretty much the game. This is going to be a great throw by Josh Allen to who?
Ugh.
No other than Mr. Stephon Diggs.
This is such a killer. And this is where I think it's like, because I didn't see a holding on this at all, Mike. I almost feel like it was a makeup call for the missed Zach Wilson helmet-to-helmet hit.
We're gonna,
which sounds terrible, but
on the next view, you'll actually see a better view of that, and I'll let you make, let all of you form your opinions. You tell me. Obviously, there was a lot. I saw this out on social media quite a bit. The Deion Dawkins hold, like it just looked like he beat his guy, just dominated his guy, and there was. On the drive, on the winning drive, I wish I could have stopped it and circled some things because there was arguably a hold on one of the run plays early on that went for, 17 or 18, and I meant to point that out. But anyhow, here we are. Great throw by Josh Diggs. I got to say, I watched this when they showed that replay a couple times. I just didn't know if he had both feet in, but I didn't know if he got that second foot, that toe tap down. And I was expecting them to review it, but it ended up not being a thing at all. But great throw by Josh, great catch by Diggs. Let's assume that would have been a catch 100%. And then of course, but let's look at that holding call that gets made.
And just one thing, just a comment about the Stephon Diggs catch. So I definitely thought he got 2 feet down. It was close. It definitely was close, but I think he got them both down. But with the ball, when he came down, I don't know if you saw it. I think he had his hand underneath enough, but it was close. Like where it was the ball almost, where he came down, it sort of hit the turf before his hand was like underneath it fully. So there may have been a notion by the Jets to maybe challenge that as well.
Yeah, so it would have definitely been challenged. I have no doubt. Like I was looking at his feet mostly. You saw it with the hand.
Right.
They had called
whether
it a
he
catch.
had like full control and stuff like that,
Right.
I think that would have definitely been challenged for sure.
Yeah. Well, they called it a catch, and I think based on what I saw, the couple angles that they did show us before they called the penalty or told us about the penalty, it would have been hard to overturn. So let's just say that much. So again, now I want you to focus on the screen here on your right as Deion Dawkins. He's pretty much going to lock up on his guy, dominate him, take him to the ground, and you make the call. Let me see if I can slow this down enough. So there we go. 58. Who's 58 on the Jets, Is that
Lawson? Carl Lawson,
okay.
I want to say.
All right, so we go. Let me.
That is Carl Lawson, yeah.
Okay. So let's watch to see if I can stop this in time. So here we go. Gauges. Everything looks clean to me.
It's a beautiful job, honestly.
All right, it looks clean. And then he just takes him down. I mean, just pile drives him.
It's textbook. I thought there's nothing there that shows any type of hold, in my opinion. I think it's a terrible call. It's a ticky-tack call. And I think personally it's a makeup call for the missed call on Zach Wilson's helmet-to-helmet hit.
Really? Interesting.
I do. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think they saw? I mean, is it they probably just saw him taking a guy down? I think you see that a lot, and I'm not sure what made them make that call on that particular play.
I mean, that's the only excuse I could really think of, because that right there is exactly what every O-line coach tells you to do. I mean, that's just a really great job by Deion Dawkins. And that's a good defensive end in Carl Lawson, too. I mean, shoot. Such a bummer. And you think, even if they rule that catch an incomplete pass, I mean, you say, obviously the holding penalty and whatnot, right? You take away 10 yards there. So instead of it being 1st and 20, it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah.
There's just,
But we finally,
such a killer.
Josh does a good job here. We get most of that back. So we got 1st and 20 at this point. And Gabe Davis finally decides to show up.
Yeah, my gosh.
I want to ask you about Gabe in a little bit. So nice throw to Gabe. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how they were. It felt like everyone was talking about Garner versus Diggs. And on the first play of the game, Diggs gets a nice, beautiful pass against Garner. He just put a move on him, right?
Yeah.
And then, one of our good friends from, I think Sean from Red, White, and Bills pointed out, like, from that point on, it seemed like, hey, we'll put Garner on Gabe, and then we'll put Reed over on Diggs, and we'll give Reed some help. Of course, we'll bracket him, right? And it felt like from this point on, I mean, from that first play on, Diggs didn't do a whole lot more. That was a big gainer to start. And I thought that was a great job. And Gabe Davis has been missing for 2 straight games. And I was listening to another show, Jake, and maybe you can tell me if you are aware of this. So the show that I was watching stated that Gabe Davis, obviously we need him to make plays. He's our number 2 guy. But the big plays that he made earlier in the season, the big plays that he made in that 13-second game has kind of covered up the drop passes from him. I mean, he had a drop pass in this game that was huge. And he had some drop passes earlier in the season. We've seen that. But watching him as a rookie and then in the second year, was that a thing on him? Was that something he was known for, dropping balls?
Not really. He was always very sure-handed. Like, that was the one thing with him. I've never seen him like this. And it's like, you see a couple of these plays where he drops the pass and it's like he's clapping his hands, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. If it's him, being scared to get hit or whatever it may be, but he's got to really figure that out. I think we need to get him involved in the short passing game a little bit, because every single ball we throw to him seems to be one of those where it has to be a home run hitter. So I think Ken Dorsey can help scheme him into the offense a little bit differently. Maybe put him into the slot. I mean, he came into the league as a potential slot guy, and he gave you that size advantage in the slot more so than Cole Beasley, who's that shorter guy, that more short underneath guy, where Gabe, he can run those seam routes, and, he's that big play guy as well. But I think you get him involved in the short passing game a little bit, get his confidence up, catch some easy balls, and then you hit for the home run.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a beautiful play by Josh, right? So Josh makes a nice play, extends it. And again, the Jets all game haven't been able, we talked about this in the pregame, that they are also a team that doesn't blitz much. And
Right.
They have a very stout defensive line, great edge rushers, and they are able, and you saw that in this game, get pressure with just rushing 4. You can do that. You can now drop 7 in coverage against the Buffalo Bills and make life very, very hard, not very difficult. I do feel, again, if we had watched the film throughout the game, and I think we said this as well early on in the pregame, is that Josh had to take what the defense was giving him, and I don't think he was doing that enough. But
Right.
with that said, again, coming into these final 2 drives, the winning drive for the Jets and this drive for the Bills, you're tied 17-17. You've done enough. Now it's time to seal the deal, be the Super Bowl team that you are supposed to be. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get it done here. But let's finish this up. There's Gabe. He gets 18 yards back.
Yeah,
So
and that was a great job. That was a really good job. You found the opening in the zone there, and great execution. Great job by Josh. Great job by Gabe there. So I was feeling pretty good at this point, Mike. I'm like, here we go. We're rolling.
We got second and 2, and then this is just obviously the Diggs thing was big because we have first down around the 50-yard line. And we don't need many more yards to get in field goal range, or even still have plenty of time at that point to go in for a touchdown potentially. So here we are, 2nd and 2. We got a minute 36 on the clock still. So let's see what happens here on the next play. And this is the one that has caused a lot of people to lose sleep over the last couple nights.
Yeah.
So this is Huff. Huff makes an amazing play, and he's on the edge there on the left, and you're going to see him beat Quessenberry pretty badly. Let's watch it here. We'll watch it from both angles.
And this is the type of player that he is. He is a pass rush that's what he does. He's a specialist as a pass rusher. And man, I mean, he just blew right by David Quessenberry here.
It looked like Josh was looking to go. I'm not sure. Is that Gabe up?
So he has Stephon Diggs up top there, Mike, and that is a completion if Bryce Huff doesn't get to Josh Allen here, and that's a big completion for us. That's a first down essentially. So this is man. I mean, you look at the corner up top too. He's in terrible position. This could be a big gain almost. You're thinking like,
yeah, I think that is Gabe. Because if you look at the bottom of the screen,
is it Gabe? Yeah, no, you're right.
That's
you're
Diggs.
Right. That's
so I
right.
think that's Gabe, and he was pretty much focused on him the whole time. We'll see it from the other view, but there's that Josh firing the ball, getting hit on the hand, and we'll see a better angle. And then of course,
that's a fumble.
Yep, all day. Now I
Ryan
want to
Bates,
point out.
good job
So
picking it up, but man.
So these next couple plays, if there's anything that gives me optimism about Josh, you're going to see a couple things. So I'll keep an eye on him. Again, it could be just adrenaline getting him through this, but let's roll here. So we'll watch the play from the other angle. Again, Quessenberry against Huff. And, Josh is definitely looking to the left. I think it's Gabe that he's targeting.
Yeah.
And Quessenberry, boom, he's beat.
He's fast.
And then
he's
boom.
fast off the edge, man.
Yeah.
A little undersized as a DN, but man, he comes in and this is a huge play.
One of the things I was reading when I was researching the Jets that, because they kind of turn things around is getting him involved more.
Yeah.
Huff. So they have Huff. We saw Jermaine Johnson, their 26 overall draft choice in the first round, make a big play on Josh early on. He got a sack on that. It was just like, wow, he showed so much speed. And so they got depth. They're very similar on the defensive line. That just like the Bills almost, right?
Right. Yeah, very similar to us.
A lot of talent there. So there it is. Now Josh is again. So let's see here on the next play. So a lot of people, he's probably got the adrenaline. The next play here, he throws this one a little short, and this is what worried people a little bit. But again, he throws it, and when he releases it, I mean, I'm not seeing him hold the hand, hold the arm. Now, here at the end of this, if we had the broadcast on,
yeah,
you would see that he was kind of stretching it, checking it out.
Right.
But here's the throw. Let's it go.
Yeah, he kind of just skips it into the dirt here, just a little short. Ugh.
And then here we go, 4th and 21 for the ball game. And again, look, he's going to roll.
And this is absolutely unbelievable.
Throws it from the 10-yard line. And this thing lands.
The longest throw ever tracked
20.
With Next Gen Stats in the air. 69.3 yards in the air, Mike. Just an absolute dime. Oh.
Now, I want to show you from this angle here, too. After he lets this go, if your arm is hurting, right, if you're in a lot of pain, I don't think what I see from him, it looks like he's trying to run downfield, and I don't see any sign that, man, my arm is bothering me. But take a look. See what you think. Again, here he goes.
We'll roll out here.
Another great play, and he lets it go. You'll see him. He's going to run a little bit. He's not favoring that arm at all. He looks like he's running down like this is going to be a play.
He's ready to go celebrate.
Yeah, and Gabe Davis, again, this is your number 2. And he's going against, of course, Garner, who's their number 1 corner. And Garner, I mean, people were like, wasn't that
you can argue, and you can argue the DPI thing, but I like the refs letting these guys play a little bit here. And honestly, it hit Gabe exactly where, I mean, right on the money, man. It hits him right in the chest pad. He made that great one-handed catch against the Chiefs, and you got to come up with the ball here.
Yeah, you got to
make a play. And I get it. It's a tough play to make, but man, this is what we thought Gabe Davis was going to be. It's
Yeah, it's a 50-50 ball, and you would hope that Gabe would be able to make that play. Of course, he is
right.
going against a star corner who, we talked to Jet fans on our pregame show, and they believe Garner and Reed are at the same level right now, the equivalent level, at least King Randy did, of Cromartie and Rivas. And that says
Wild.
a lot. And
Yeah.
they played, I'll tell you what, Jake, they played extremely well.
Sure. Yeah, they definitely did.
Extremely well. And so, again, though, I think if we were to watch more film early on, you would see that we just weren't taking what the defense was giving us. There were opportunities underneath. But that's for another show. I'm sure you'll catch a YouTube show out there that breaks down all the film. But, yeah, there it is. Game over.
Gosh.
And then they just down it here. So
That's such a killer.
it really is. Let me stop that there.
I like what my dad says. He's saying we have to use a fullback, a.k.a. Reggie Gilliam, to help protect Josh. I would say either that or you bring Dawson Knox in and you have that little tight protection look. And then at the very least, I mean, you can get Dawson to even chip or something like that, or have him be in the backfield a little bit, and then you can have him, do a little flat route or something, a little delay or whatever it may be. And then you have a short route option too on that. So, yeah, I would say you got to get him some more protection because the offensive line has not been great. There were times, though, in this game where he had good protection.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all the offensive line. I know, obviously, they could play better, but Josh didn't play well this game at all. I mean, the last throw of the game was his best throw for sure, by far, the entire day. But, he's got to execute. We left a lot of points on the board, and it was frustrating. And the Jets, for them to go down from their own 4-yard line, kill clock like they did, kick a game-winning field goal, it's totally unacceptable. I mean, the gap assignments, I think our interior defensive line got absolutely bullied on that last series, and that really killed us, man.
Yeah, it's concerning. Back-to-back weeks for sure, where offensive line kind of dominated us in the run game. So interesting stuff. This was fun. I apologize for choking earlier. I mean,
You're good, Mike.
Thank you, Jake. I mean, we're gonna have some new viewers, but like, oh my god, this guy's choking. I'm gonna turn this thing off. But I appreciate you working through that with me.
Oh, of course.
And this was a lot of fun. I really wanted to kind of like have you help me and others break this down a little bit. You, by the way, you're just fantastic when you break down film.
Thank you.
We got to do a little bit. I don't want to do a complete film breakdown. There are other shows.
I try to keep the terminology simple.
Yeah,
I don't want to sound too crazy and like I'm above. You know what I mean? I try to
perfect.
keep it very simple. I don't say too many crazy lingo terms, anything like that. So, yeah.
No, it's absolutely perfect. And again, I can see things from my side. I'm like, from a fan base, I'm like, man, this guy messed up. But I love when you're able to kind of take it to the level and still keep it at a level we can understand and help us, see what was happening and understand truly what was happening. So it was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. 2 weeks in a row, we have the Vikings coming to town. They're 7-1. This is going to be a great game. And I was listening to a show today that had somebody who covers the Vikings. And, they've had some – the guy said they're playing like more like a 5-3 team. Sort of like the Jets early on. The Jets had some, they had that one onside kick game where they recovered the onside kick, won a game. They had a couple breaks early. But all that does for a team is help you build confidence and get momentum, right? You get a couple of those breaks and watch out. We saw this with the Jets. I feel like they're rolling now. And again, they were coming off a heartbreaker themselves against the Patriots and easily could have won that game. So I know a lot of folks I think you even said, what was your prediction? 38-10, something crazy like that?
I said 35-14. There's no chance the Bills don't drop 30 on this defense. I knew the Jets defense was good, and we very well could have scored those 30 points, Mike. I mean, we left a lot of points on the table. There were so many opportunities. We go down that first series and score a touchdown instead of throwing an interception. I think it's a totally different outcome. But hey, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It is what it is. Sometimes you just lose. And the Jets, credit to them, man. They were super physical. They came out and absolutely dominated the line of scrimmage all day. And they played very sound, methodical football. And sometimes you're able to get it done like that. And I put more blame, I will say, like our defense, sure, we got banged up. And, they totally out physicaled, and there were a lot of missed tackles and whatnot. We're playing with a lot of backups out there, and even so, we still only allowed 20 points. The offense has to go out and score points, plain and simple. I mean, we should have won that game. It should have been like 31-20. There's no reason that we should have lost it by any means. I mean, you allow 20 points. That's not terrible. Our offense should be able to score 30 every game. It's just that easy.
It does give you some concern, like Milano. Obviously, that was a huge not having him in this game. He's been playing absolutely incredible, and you have to feel like he would have helped on that final drive. But it does give you some concern, like we talked about the Bills having so much depth, and there's a couple spots where we're maybe not so deep that we thought. Obviously, linebackers one of the big ones. We were so worried about corners earlier in the season, not a concern anymore. And then finally, let's just finish the show on a Trey White conversation. I'm hearing again that he may not be back for this game. So this is a huge game. Justin Jefferson. I mean, my goodness, no one's been able to stop this guy. So this is going to be a true test for our corners. And I know you can't expect him to get on the field and beat Trey White of old, at least not initially. What's your thoughts on Trey? I mean, when are they going to roll him out there?
I don't know what they're waiting for. And everyone's thinking maybe there's a setback, and Sean McDermott addressed those rumors, said there was no setback. He's just not ready to go. Well, when is he ready to go? Because now we have one of the most prolific receivers coming into Buffalo, matching up against. And listen, our corners have done a great job, but I think we need all the help we can get, right? I mean, we're banged up as it is. I don't even want there to be an opportunity for Justin Jefferson to make a big play. So we need Trey White back. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. It is a little concerning. It's like, man, this is a game you'd want him for. I felt like they activated him. They gave him a few additional weeks of rest. I'm like, this is the game. We got to have him. He may not be there. So, again, I don't know if they're playing games, trying to keep the Vikings from knowing things.
Playing with all of our emotions. Trey White, Josh Allen. I mean, come on, But, hey, I want to say one more thing, too. I mentioned this in our Discord. I think from our end, offensively, my dad mentioned bringing the fullback in to help protect Josh Allen. I wanted to make mention of Reggie Gilliam because I think he is a very underutilized player. And I think everyone talks about not having a run game. Well, when he's in and we run the football and he's a lead blocker, we do a pretty damn good job. So I know this is very basic and probably something a lot of people don't want to see, but listen, we run a little power eye with Reggie Gilliam in the game. I wouldn't mind seeing that next game.
I love it, Jake. And if Josh does miss any time, they're gonna have to run the ball.
Gonna have to resort to a little more basic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we may see that for sure. So we gotta show. By the way, I always forget to say this. If you're new to the channel, I feel like everyone here is not new to the channel. But if you catch us and you are new to the channel, please like, comment, and drop a nickel on that subscribe button for us. Just smash it. And if not the subscribe button, hit that like button for us. Just smash it. Come on now. We appreciate it. We got a show tomorrow. We're doing some football show tomorrow, which is going to be fun. The whole group, all 5 of us from the Nickel City Mafia, we're going to be talking about all divisions, both conferences, giving some surprises, talking about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, we'll have our pregame show on Sunday. Are we in the 1 o'clock? Again?
1 o'clock slot.
Minnesota?
Yep.
All right, perfect.
That's right.
So Jake and I will be out at our normal time early Sunday morning, 11 o'clock East Coast time, 8 o'clock West Coast time. So, Jake, I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone in the channel. You have a great, and we're praying, right? We're going to find out an answer tomorrow on
Say your prayers. Keep your fingers crossed.
Let's go. So, go Bills. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, go Bills.